Amazing news! At Titans Debate League is now looking for interns. We are expanding our team and seeking driven individuals who are ready to make an impact. We're on the hunt for talented people to join our marketing team, a charismatic new host, and creative minds who can produce amazing content. If you have a positive attitude and are used to winning, because that's what we do here, then we want to hear from you. Join us and contribute to a culture of excellence and success here at Titans Debate League. Email us today, titansdebateleague@gmail.com. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Where infinity gauntlet is a mere toy compared to the intellectual prowess, build and destroy the cipher, intellectual sword to slice you, or whatever device you recommend. Surgical precise pen, hand get heated, the room will spin. If man get treated, them goals gon' spin. Level heads with feet, paradigm the box shoot in. Got a pair of red dimes in the box shoot in. Don't matter paradigms, your clock won't spin. Hear the sounds of the trumpets, start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we're stopping. It's the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets, start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we storming. It's the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets, start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we storming. It's the clash of the titans. It's the clash of the titans.
Listen up, Titan family. The Coliseum of Arguments is officially opening the vaults, and this is your chance to win a piece of league history. We're running a massive high-stakes t-shirt raffle, and these are not your average tees. We're talking ultra-exclusive, limited edition, premium custom apparel that you can't buy anywhere else. Once they're gone forever. We're keeping the stakes high and the odds completely in your favor. Here's how it goes down. Tickets are only $2. The limit, $40 or 20 tickets per person to keep the playing field fair. The odds, we're picking a brand new winner for every 20 tickets sold. Think about the math. If you max out your 20 tickets, you are essentially guaranteeing a crowd milestone and forcing a new drawing. The more tickets moving, the more winners we crown back to back. Are you a $3.99 channel member? Then we've already got your back. As a thank you for holding down the foundation, every single $3.99 member is automatically getting one free ticket entered into the raffle. But don't just rely on that one ticket. Secure your stack, maximize your odds, and ensure your name gets called. These custom designs, from the legendary Debate or Die print to the official Titans Debate League emblems, are strictly limited edition. You don't want to be sitting in the chat watching everyone else flaunt their exclusive gear while you missed out over a $2 ticket. How to enter? Open up your Cash App. Send your entry to $Titans Debate League. Put your name/handle in the note so we know exactly who to crown. The clock is ticking, the tickets are moving, and the next 20 ticket milestone is closing fast. Lock your entries in now and claim your crown. Winners picked this Friday. Clash of the Titans 1.0. The finals are here. It all comes down to this. Out of 16 debaters, only 2 remain standing. Some fell because they couldn't defend their arguments. Some crashed out because their antics outweighed their intellect. Others simply weren't built for the pressure of the arena. But now, the smoke is cleared. The finals face off. Pandemis the African atheist versus Suave Boss. Before the final war of words, they meet face to face to choose the topic that will define the championship debate. $500 on the line. One winner, one name etched in Clash of the Titans history. Who has the sharper mind? Who can survive the pressure? Who will rise when the lights are brightest? This is bigger than debate. This is legacy. And for everyone who lost along the way, your chance at redemption comes when Tournament 1.2 launches. But right now, this moment belongs to the finalists. Clash of the Titans 1.0, the face-off, Saturday, May 23rd, prime time. Be there. prepared to witness history. Are you not entertained?
Live from Titans Debate League, it's time for Morning Coffee with Shadow and O.L.E.
Good morning, everybody.
On the air. Good morning. Now let's get to it. Good morning, world. The coffee is hot, the headlines are moving, and the questions are wide awake. This is Morning Coffee with Shadow and O.L.E.E. Only world logic on the air. Morning Coffee. Morning Coffee. Wake up, tune in. Let the day begin. Sun coming up, fresh cup in my hand. News on the table, let's understand. Shadow got the stories, O.L.E.E got the view. Breaking down the world in a way that feels true. Headlines moving fast, but we slow down the spin. Ask what happened, where, why, and when. No panic for profit, no fear in the feed. Just facts, good questions, and the context we need. From the block to the nation, from the world to your station. Oh, we bring the information with a little conversation. Morning Coffee with Shadow and O.L.E.E. Pour up the truth, let the whole world see. News with a smile, logic on the side. Wake up your mind, come enjoy the ride. Morning Coffee with Shadow and O.L.E.E. Headlines, hot takes, and reality. Laugh a little, learn a little, start your day right. Oh, Morning Coffee got the whole room bright. Oh, we talk about the weather, the world, and the town. What's going up? What's coming down? Sports, culture, money, and the people in between. Making sense of all the chaos on the screen. Shadow brings the edge, O.L.E.E brings the lens. Two voices in the morning like your favorite friends. No empty noise, no chasing the smoke. Just news with a brain and a well-timed joke. From the city to the country, from the serious to funny. Ooh, we keep it clear and sunny while the coffee keeps coming. Morning Coffee with Shadow and O.L.E.E. Pour up the truth, let the whole world see. News with a smile, logic on the side. Wake up your mind, come enjoy the ride. Morning Coffee with Shadow and O.L.E.E. Headlines, hot takes, and reality. Laugh a little, learn a little, start your day right. Oh, Morning Coffee got the whole room bright. Today's headlines, tomorrow's questions. A little humor, a little wisdom. A lot of coffee and just enough logic to keep the nonsense nervous. Morning Coffee with Shadow and O.L.E.E. Pour up the truth, let the whole world see. News with a smile, logic on the side. Wake up your mind, come enjoy the ride. Morning Coffee with Shadow and O.L.E.E. Headlines, hot takes, and reality. Laugh a little, learn a little, start your day right. Oh, Morning Coffee got the whole room bright. Morning Coffee, Shadow and O.L.E.E. Morning Coffee, only world logic. Morning Coffee on the air. Good morning. Now let's get to it.
What up, what up, what up? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jermaine Nugent, aka. It's your boy Jermaine Nugent, aka O.L.E.E, the O.W.L.
Brother O.L.E.E, that feedback.
Yeah, you still here?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here, but you're very low on your mic.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Do you hear me now?
You got to get a little closer.
Right about now.
Much better. I can hear you a little. I can at least hear you.
Bet.
Yeah. There was like mad feedback, bro.
Yeah, I know it. I cut it. Is it done? Is it still feedback?
Yeah, no, you're good now. Everything's clear.
Bet. So what we got for today, man?
Man, it's a good day in terms of, you know, your traditional average day to day, what you expect year round. You know, they say you got 4 seasons, but I'd argue, and I think most Floridians would agree, we only got about 2 seasons, man. We got winter and summer. Winter, you could say, don't really last that long. Uh, but the summer is pretty brutal. We're now approaching the summer. We are now getting into today's weather report. For those out there who are in Florida, that is, you know, are coming down to visit. I'd like you guys to understand that before me and brother Oli get into the contents of the show pertaining to the news, dealing with politics and theology, regarding real life events and the actuality of your earthly experience. I just like to say that you know, if you're in Florida, man, dress lightly. You know, make sure that your air conditioning's working. If you're unable to handle the sun ray directly, please make sure you got that sunscreen, because we're doing about 87 degrees in the Tampa region. 87 degrees, but thanks to the weather, which is only right now the wind factor, what we call the wind chill factor, it's only 4 miles per hour. It was 7 miles per hour yesterday. It's only 4 miles per hour today. The UV index is at a whopping 8 on the chart, which is high for those brothers and sisters out there who have fair skin. You might want to get some sunblock sunscreen on. Don't play with this sun. It is not joking. The humidity is at a crazy 70%, meaning you're almost in a sauna at this point. It did rain a little bit yesterday towards the evening, long after the show was over. It did rain in the Tampa area, and now everything's wet. Everything was wet and preserved overnight, only for that sun to come out and start cooking it all up and turning it into a sauna. So as we progress into the day, we're going to be going up as far as 94 degrees, y'all. By 12 o'clock, it's going to be, which is an hour from now, it's going to be, or I'd say 20 minutes from now, and moving on, it's going to step up from 80, because that sun is still climbing, y'all. Sun has not fully reached its post. It's literally about to increase from 87 degrees to a crazy 94, and it's going to feel like 98. All right. That's because the wind chill factor is only at 4%. So I need y'all to understand that this ain't, Florida weather is not joking. Now, for those out there who are trying to navigate, maybe go to work, come home from work, maybe you're on your way to the park, you want to get some sun, go to the beach, just know that there are areas where there is construction. And when I mean by construction, I mean we're talking long detours, right? So you need to make sure that you're paying attention to your roadways. The Howard Franklin Bridge is probably a good way you want to take if you're transiting from Tampa to another county or another city. That's one way you want to go. I-275 at Dale Mabry is also another place you want to go. And let me go ahead and give y'all just a quick little screen presentation dealing with the traffic cameras. You might want to check this out so you brothers and sisters understand where you're going to navigate as you're moving through Florida, especially in the Tampa region. Let me give it to you right here. This is the traffic cameras. I like you brothers and sisters to peep game on this. Okay, let's see if it pops up on the screen. And let me zoom out just a tad bit so that you brothers and sisters can actually get a good idea. So here we go. We got the Tampa traffic cameras from the Howard Franklin to I-275 South Bay at 4th Street. That's also I-275 at 4th Street North from the overpass. We're also looking at Himes Avenue, Dale Mabry, Bush Boulevard, Courtney Campbell Causeway. That's a good now mind you, there is construction that just began last night on the Courtney Campbell Causeway. So you guys are gonna probably experience some madness over there in that region. I know the Courtney Campbell is a big mainstream road that most of Floridians love to commute. I understand it does suck. You might want to take 301. 301 is basically your alternative route. If you can't take Courtney Campbell, and I get it, 301's only got 2 to 3 lanes as opposed to Courtney Campbell. You've got way more maneuvering. But remember, Courtney Campbell is going through some detours right now with the construction. So you might want to take 301. And looking at the Skyway, I don't know if my screen is showing. Maybe I faltered on that aspect, trying to get that to
Yeah, I was
show.
waiting on you to give me it to share, but it never popped up.
Yeah, it's I'm looking at my screen. I'm not really sure because I'm doing it from both ends, from my phone and the station. But if you
Gotcha.
guys can't see the screen, nonetheless, just listen to my voice and take heed to the directions. That for those out there who are transiting from Tampa to elsewhere, you might want to take that Howard Franklin. And for those out there who love and appreciate the Causeway, I know I do. I love to take the Causeway. Maybe you want to take 301 because they just started construction last night, so that's gonna play a big factor. And I'm pretty sure that construction's going to last a couple months. Sorry, guys, but they're getting ready to do some big stuff there. And last but not least, for those out there who are in the Riverview area dealing with, the Sun City, transiting into Oldsmar, which is over there in the Pinellas County area, dealing with Tarpon Springs and these things. You might want to look at I-75 and Big Bend Road. That's a proven place. There's no construction going on there, from what I see. We do not have any traffic accidents at the moment, even though this is being updated every hour. You don't know, maybe someone's wrecking out there now. But just, guys, be safe out there, and once again, dress lightly. Understand it's going to be a clear sky, very sunny day. It rained yesterday, so the humidity is high. It's going to feel like a sauna. You don't want to wear high socks, and I would advise not to wear jeans and things of that nature unless you're transiting from air conditioned to air conditioned. And yeah, that'll seal it for today's weather report. How's it looking over there in your area in Oklahoma, brother Oli?
Bet. It's looking all right here in Oklahoma right now. It's 65 degrees. Feels like 65. The high today will probably be 82 with a low of 63. Chance of rain is 15%. It's still kind of wet out there. Has been for the last couple of days. So make sure you stay safe. Keep distance in between you and the cars and the people above you, because you have to be accountable and responsible. The weather feels great. The traffic is well right now. It's rain still around I-35 and I-40 and I-44. Downtown Oklahoma continues seeing a lot of traffic pressure right now. So there's construction projects going on along with MAPS development. MAPS is a program, y'all know, in Oklahoma that developing our streets and highways to become bigger lanes. And most of it is down in the Oklahoma City um, Paycom Coliseum Thunder area. Um, so drivers should be moving pretty fast. There's Let me see. There's little movement on Broadway Extension. Um, the construction zones near downtown redevelopment projects are moving. There's no halt right now. It's still kind of early. People School is out, so it ain't that much traffic, buses on the streets. So the construction is going pretty well. I'd like to mention right between MacArthur and Meridian on the Northwest Expressway, all three lanes are down to one lane. Specifically, the left lane is the one that's open. I know it because I've traveled it this morning, and it's a lot of traffic and people not moving over. So make sure you stay safe out there in the streets. 65 degrees. Get out Scissortail Park downtown, Paycom Center, and a lot of other things to do in Oklahoma. So we moving well right now. I want to say a while ago, Jose, one of the people in the chat, stepped in, and then he stepped back out. If anybody's in the chat, remember this is interactive, and if you want to step up and tell us how it's going in your city right now with the weather, traffic, we'd be much appreciated for that info. And back to you, Shadow.
Most def. And brother Oli, if you can, going forward, just see if you could check the volume levels of your mic, or if maybe if you could step closer to it. But I want to hear what you're saying, brother. And you're very low on my end. I'm not. I guess we can ask. We got another brother in the room, or no? That's just us. I'm sorry. I thought we
No,
had
just
another. Okay, okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna see if I could share my screen once again. Let me see. I'm gonna check it right now. Because we're gonna get into statewide politics, domestic politics for the Florida region, the Tampa Bay area. Let me stop sharing the screen right here. All right. So I click out of this, and we're gonna get into. All right, guys. Let me know if it shows up on the screen. Waiting on my
just tell me when I
computer.
need to share it. Tell me
Yeah,
if you push
yeah, my
share, and then I'll
computer's
be able to do
tripping.
it.
All right, here we
No
go.
worries. Take your time.
All right, so I'm gonna go to the crime page for the Tampa Bay region. Let me know if that pops up. It does say it's sharing on my end.
There you go, right there.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Hell yeah, dude. All right, cool. Yeah. So what you guys are seeing on the screen, is the crime report.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, we
That
lost
was
it.
me. I did that. My
All right,
bad.
no problem. No problem.
Give me 1 sec.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so if you guys are able to, if I have to, I'll blow it up a little bit, or I'll zoom in a little bit. You'll see that there's. Can y'all see that where there's fists? Those fists, right where I have my cursor at, those are representing assault with assault and battery. Let's zoom out a little bit. Over here in the Egypt Lake Leto Pinecrest West Park area, over there by Kirby Creek, there was an assault charge that was reported. And let's go to the other one, which is in East Tampa, over there by East Lake Orient. It's basically over there by Ybor City. A lot of assault crimes are usually reported in the Ybor City area because of the high volume of teenagers, young adults. They come there to party. That's the party zone. Ybor City is known. Basically, it's what we like to call Club City. It's basically it's like you could say maybe 8 to 9 streets dedicated to nightclubs and overnight gatherings, and a lot of stuff goes down at those areas because there's a lot of crime activity, drugs, people that are intoxicated, just a lot of stuff going on in that area. This is East Tampa 300. It's basically reported at 3800 block of North 22nd Street. This happened at 10:30 a.m. I don't need to get into the details. I just want you brothers and sisters just to get the main framework of things dealing with crime and where it's being reported. Once again, if you look, you'll also see, let me click that out. You'll also see these little question marks. This means it's It is not an assault and battery charge. It's something other than that, which can be anything ranging from a hit and run to drug possession or to drug trafficking and things of that nature. So you have in this, just within this area, dealing from Temple Terrace to the heart of Tampa, which is over there by the University of Tampa by in Hyde Park, the which is like down the street from Tampa Heights, which is pretty much in the neck of the woods of Ybor City, dealing with the clubs at night. Ybor City gets very packed, guys. Ybor City is a wild place to be at night for anybody that doesn't know Florida, and you're coming to visit. You want to know these things. You don't want to be on foot walking around at Ybor at night, especially if you're just trying to mind your own business and you're trying to go about your day in a lawful and meaningful way. This is not the place you kind of want to do that at. It's better if you're in a car and you're kind of just going, you got to mind your business out here in these streets at night, most importantly. And here's the list of the crimes as we have it right here. A lot of it ranging in the morning times. A lot of it happened around, I guess this is the latest update, happened at 10 a.m., right? Which is about a couple hours from now. Happened at 10:39, 10:31, 10:24. Yes. So all of this is all occurring within this region of Ybor City in in central Tampa. Mind you, there's a little bit, stemming outside of Tampa. You could say as far as Temple Terrace, but it's in a car you're pretty much ranging in the network of a 30-minute travel to a 45-minute travel in between to these destination points of which crime is being reported. So be careful out there, guys, when you're dealing with Florida, most importantly in the Ybor City area, at night to sober up. There's still reports being going on in that area. So be careful, guys. And with that being said, that wraps up for the crime report in Tampa. I wonder how it's going down over there in Oklahoma with you, Oli. What's popping off in your neighborhood?
Gotcha, man. You know, I talked to y'all yesterday about all of the shootings and the violent things that was going on. And so, let's see, I should keep y'all updated on that. The investigators from the fallout of Lake Arcadia mass shooting um, they were dealing with 20 injured. And one of the big things about this story is that it was promoted on social media. And this story wasn't, I mean, this party wasn't sanctioned. They didn't have permission to be where they were doing what they did. And the police say a gang-related tension escalated after the argument with more than 80 rounds. That's 80 shots reportedly fired. And so I was talking about that yesterday and the more gun violence that's been going on in Oklahoma. But besides that, just here recently, Northwest Oklahoma City Police recently arrested 5 people under the age of 21 tied to a drive-by shooting. That's youth violence. We can talk about escalation culture, social media influence, and retaliation cycles on how these things keep happening. Because we really want to get a hold of this before it's too late. Shout out to the children and the kids and the parents who ended the school year good, got it in and out of school with as little problems as they could get. Moving on to the next grade. Shout out my daughter, 7th grade. Shout out my son, he graduated. Um, and the mass shootings and the people that's involved with these things, to me, just show a lack of accountability for different people doing different things. And so I urge each and every one of us to remember, even if we don't got kids, we come around people who have kids. Talk to them kids. No, you can't tell them nothing, but you can put things on their mind when you mentioning things. If you see them going the wrong way, doing things that's going to jeopardize their future, dropping out of school, smoking cigarettes. Of course, if they've made the choice to do it, it's not up to you to make them stop, but put it on their mind why they should. And that's the way that you can be accountable in most of those situations. Um, One of the main things I want to talk about today, and let me see if I can't share this. This is one of my money. Let's see, remove this, share, screen share. It's this guy right here. What did Richard Glossop do? Former death row inmate released on bond. Now, we'll look at this picture first so y'all can see his stock. Um, this is via the Oklahoma Department of Corrections. Key takeaways that we're going to learn about this for the accountability in Oklahoma is some of the ways that our system has been working. Now, accusations and conviction. Glossop spent nearly 30 years on death row for the 1997 killing of his boss, Barry Van Treese, maintaining his innocence throughout. His alleged accomplice, Justin Sneed, claimed Justin hired him to commit the murder. Conviction overturned in February 2025, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned his murder conviction due to false testimony, withheld evidence, and destroyed records, ordering a new trial. Now, he did this 3 times. He's been on death row and ate his last meal 3 times. But we get to this main part right here. It says released on bond. In May 2026, Glossop was released on $500,000 bond, funded by none other than Kim Kardashian. And that's real big to me. That's Kim. Under conditions like electronic monitoring and travel restrictions while awaiting retrial without the death penalty. So they're giving him a new trial, and this time they're going to let him bond out. So I'm going to try to read this quick. I really like to read to myself. I can read fast when I'm reading to people. It's like I'm telling a story. So, after spending nearly 3 decades on death row, Richard Glossop was released on bond as he awaits a retrial in a 1997, that's the year I graduate, killing of his boss, Brian Van Treese. The case has drawn national attention with Kim Kardashian paying for his release. In light of his release, U.S. Weekly breaks down what Glossop has been accused of and why his conviction was overturned. What did Richard Glossop do? Glossop has spent nearly 3 decades behind bars after he was initially found guilty of killing Treese. However, he has always maintained that he was innocent. O.J. Simpson posed an unpredictable threat to the Kardashians for decades. I don't know this. Glossop worked as a handyman at an Oklahoma City motel owned by Treese at the time of the killing. During the initial trial, Glossop's alleged accomplice, Justin Sneed, claimed that the handyman hired him to kill Treese and offered to pay him $10,000, according to the Associated Press. So that sounds strange first. He a handyman that got $10,000. Okay, Sneed. Glossop was ultimately found guilty and was sentenced to death row. Why was Richard Glossop's conviction overturned? In February 2025, Glossop's murder conviction and death sentence were overthrown by the U.S. Supreme Court in a new trial. That means he's still not guilty. I mean, he's still not free. He still has to go to court and fight this in a new trial. While making the decision to overturn his conviction, the Supreme Court determined that prosecutors, this is the people in Oklahoma at that time, failed to correct false testimony given by Snead, and that Snead's psychiatric condition was not publicly revealed to the court, according to the Associated Press. Additionally, the court found that prosecutors, most of the prosecutors are placed in their position by the attorney general of that state attorney general. But the prosecutors destroyed evidence and withheld witness statements during the original trial. Glossop was released from prison in May 2026. Judge Natalie May ruled that Glossop was eligible for bond on the May 14, 2026, and could be released on $500,000 bond. They don't want nothing but money. They knew he could get the money because over the years he's had a lot of people come in and support him in different ways because of the incoherent and incompetent way that the attorney general or the district attorney, the ADA, that wouldn't be the ADA, and his minions presented and fought this case simply to get, well, maybe simply to get a guilty plea, but who knows? That's kind of something that the justice system talk about. I wish I had a lawyer like Leandre Williams come up and tell us about the justice. But for the first time in 29 years of being incarcerated for a crime he did not commit, during which he faced 9 execution dates and ate 3 last meals, Mr. Glossop now has a chance to taste freedom, his attorney Don Knight told. Say you can't beat death, huh? So he done faced it 9 times. He ate 3 last meals with death right there in the room with him, as some of the people would say. But hours later, film producer Scott Budnick, a longtime advocate for Glossop's release, revealed that Kim Kardashian made his release possible. Budnick wrote via Instagram that Glossop was released on bail that was graciously paid immediately by Kim Kardashian, who's been fighting for Rich's freedom for years. Richard. And that's true. She's even advocated for him with Trump during Trump's uh last presidential office, when he was giving all of those pardons to people. She went in front of him and talked about Richard Glossop and a few other people. She actually got somebody out. I can't remember who that is right now because I'm talking about Rich Glossop. Glossop was released on the condition that he must wear an electronic monitoring device. He must not travel outside of Oklahoma. He must not have any contact with witnesses, and he must not consume drugs or alcohol, according to the Associated Press. That's easy. He free. He done been in the pen. He don't want to do no drugs or alcohol. He actually getting it together because he got a chance to beat this case, whether he killed the dude or not. He still got a chance after 30 years. Oh, Richard Glossop. After his bond was posted, Glossop spoke to the press while leaving prison. I'm just thankful for my wife and my attorneys. Just thankful. It's overwhelming, but it's amazing at the same time, he said while holding hands with his wife, Leah Glossop. Kim Kardashian demands man play. I don't know about none of that. After Glossop's conviction was overturned, Oklahoma Attorney General, oh, there you go, Genter Drummond announced his plans to retry Glossop for a first-degree murder in June 2025. However, Drummond said that the prosecutors would not seek the death penalty in the second trial. While it was clear to me and the U.S. Supreme Court that Glossop did not receive a fair trial, I have never proclaimed his innocence. Drummond said at the time, per the Associated Press, unlike past prosecutors who allowed a key witness to lie on the stand, my office will make sure Mr. Glossop receives a fair trial based on hard facts, solid evidence, and truthful testimony. And I'm going to give y'all a prediction because I do this sometimes. When they fight his case, they fighting it for the money that they're gonna receive. He been in there 30 years. They can find him guilty and still let him free. That ADA, Mr. Drummond, is always eligible to receive funds from people, just like Governor Stitt I showed yesterday when he spoke to that lady, when he spoke for that lady and got her off of out of jail in 73 days, out of the penitentiary in 73 days because of her money. He got Kim Kardashian giving money, been giving money. There's no, I probably can't even imagine the people that's behind the scenes helping, the people who want to write books about it. When you get out, let us write your story, Mr. Glossop. So even when we see this trial, y'all make sure y'all watch this, because this is just a prediction from O.L.E. You know what I'm saying? I might be wrong or something, but you watch and you see if you don't see Glossop being free or being found guilty and then getting a time served sentence and still living happily ever after. And that's my moment in Oklahoma for today. That's the big story that I was talking about. Till we get into the politics. You there, Shadow?
Excellent, excellent. All right, all right. So I'm gonna see if I can go ahead and share my screen once again uh, to give my side of the statewide politics. Um, let me see if I can do this. Here we go. I'm going to bring up a case that I felt, I felt compelled to share with to everybody, Floridians alike. If you're listening, tuned in, and you're not from Florida, you might want to peep game on this because this is kind of tying into the geopolitical landscape of things. Let me blow it up for you guys so you can kind of read it a little bit better. I hope you guys can get it. Okay, good, good. I think you guys can read that. All right. First, let me take you into the picture real quick. Bada bing, right? This is Lieutenant uh, Colonel Luis Raul Gonzalez Pardo. He's on the left. So he's the guy. Let me give you the cursor real fast. This guy right here. If you can see my cursor, that guy right there. What is going on? And on the right is Lorenzo Alberto Perez. Both are MiG pilots in the Cuban Air Force, not the American Air Force, guys. I need y'all to pay attention to that, okay? Cuban Air Force. This is an undated photo included in the This is for the federal indictment against former big news here, guys. This is big news. This is an indictment against a former sitting current. I'm sorry. This is an indictment against a former sitting Cuban president who goes by the name of Raul Castro. Raul Castro, right? For almost 10 years, a retired Cuban Air Force pilot, Lieutenant Colonel Luis Raul Gonzalez Pardo, traveled between Cuba and Florida, entering the United States, and here's the problem, without revealing his military history, and he was flying under the radar. He was going unnoticed. That was until his arrest, which occurred in November, when he was accused of failing to basically disclose, aka sharing his U.S. immigration forms, that he had been a member of the Cuban Air Force for nearly 30 years. So this is big news when it comes to we were talking about the immigration policy yesterday, the open border policy that the Democrats have been enacting for quite some time, most importantly through the Obama administration, both terms. When you come into our country, you have to go about it in a legal way. You have to register as a foreign entity that is A, seeking asylum, B, some sort. What are you here for? You have to state your cause. The issue is if you come into our country and you're an immigrant and you are coming from X whatever, you have to list certain things that are vital pieces of information that is most critical when it comes to your chances to gain citizenship. If you are an active or ex-military member of whatever government that you are from the nation you are coming from, that's vital information. That's information that the United States does not take lightly for withholding. You cannot withhold this information. If you are in special forces, or even if you were in some political position, if you were a governor, if you were a member of some type of parliament, if you were, most importantly, if you're a president, you got to list this information down. If you leave this information outside of your forms and you fail to acknowledge that you were a participating member of the military or some active governmental entity, um, you're going to get a lot of pressure. You're going to get a lot of pressure on you. They're going to come at you like you're a spy. Now you're in trouble because you did not release that information, which is critical. So to make the story brief, let's just move it forward, right? For 30 years, he pleaded guilty in January to immigration fraud. That's what he was charged with. It's scheduled to be sentenced on Monday, on May 28 in the federal court of Jacksonville, Florida. Mr. Gonzalez Pardo, 65 years old, jailed, can receive up to a maximum penalty, which is, guys, let's be honest here. This is actually light. This isn't. I know people that got caught with weed, marijuana on their possession, and they got a more longer term sentence than this. 10 years. Gonzalez Pardo faced even more serious charges when he was named as a defendant in the federal indictment against the former president of Cuba, Raul Castro, and 4 other members of the Cuban Air Force. Now, why am I bringing this up? This is kind of alluding to our current geopolitical situation. Why we are in war at the moment. Now, mind you, it's not declared officially, which, yes, for people out there who understand the technicalities of legal due process, yes, you are correct. You have to get the Senate and the Congress to approve for the United States sitting current or the current president of that time to make an announcement, which he has to declare officially, meaning publicly. You're not allowed to just go invade somebody and start attacking them and basically wage war against them without first declaring it, right? Because in terms of international law, in terms of geopolitics and how all nations form agreements, if a nation attacks another nation without declaring officially without declaring publicly that it's war, then in layman terms, that's equivalent to sucker punching somebody, right? If we're sitting in a bar and you see somebody just haul off and punch another person without at least saying, "Hey man, put your hands up, I'm going to fight you." If I punch somebody and I don't tell them that I'm going to punch them, that in terms of an external witnessing, that's a coward's move. It's very cowardly to attack somebody without letting them know you're going to attack them. It's cowardly. That's what we call sucker punching, because that type of punch only belongs to suckers. You're a sucker if you got to do it that way. The real man way, the honor, the code of the samurai, the code of the man is hey, I got a disagreement with you. I got a problem with you. I need you to settle this problem or else we got to fight. Now that is a man's way of conducting himself through a disagreement. I'm letting you know this is what it is. And if you don't like it, well, then we got to fight to settle it. Now, if I just punch you and I don't tell you that now that's a sucker move. That's a coward act. That's why the United States right now is not in a war, because we've never declared it. All we did was make our position. Hey, we're going to do an operation. This is what the Russians did for Ukraine. Instead of declaring war openly against Ukraine, the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, he said, I'm going to conduct a special operation. That's what he said. Now that special operation is currently in progress. It is yet to be concluded. Therefore, some people could say, well, that's a war. Yes, essentially it is. But that's just showing you where we're at right now. Geopolitically, even in terms of legal proceedings, the nations right now aren't fighting fair. Every nation right now, even America, I have to say it. I'm an American. I'm a patriot. I hate to say this, but we're sucker punching other nations. We're basically saying, hey, we don't want you to build nuclear energy. We're just going to, come in there and knock that down. But then it turns into, yeah, I know that you don't have your nuclear energy anymore, but now we want you to do business this way. We want you to do this. Essentially we're lying, and we're going about it like a sucker. So essentially that's where we're at. The Cuban interest right now is that we have pitted we have basically monopolized them. This whole indictment against the former president, that is not random. And let me tell you, brothers and sisters, that indictment that we have against the former president, Raul Castro, that's a strategic move. What's occurring is we're trying to get that president in our custody. But here's the problem. In terms of international law, in terms of testimonial witness, we have to go about it legitimately, meaning we have to make it look justified. We can't just go around saying, we want your ex-presidents. We want them in our custody. And someone goes, why? Well, because we just want them. You got to explain yourself, man. What are you doing? So we made this up. Well, I'm not saying we made this up. Let me take that back. We're exaggerating the situation at hand. We're exaggerating it to make it look justified. But let me tell you what's really going on. We are at war with Iran at the moment. Even though it's not been officially declared, we are at war with Iran. We sucker punched Iran, and I'm going to say that. We sucker punched them because we didn't officially declare war. We lied to them and say, oh, we just want to make it to where you can't build nuclear energy. And next thing you know, we're doing other things. So it's just like the Iraq war when we said Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. We went in there and we took him out and we did all these things because it was never about weapons of mass destruction. It was a lie. We lied. However, we did declare war against Iraq. We did. We officially declared it before we went in. But we lied about the whole thing. It was never about weapons of mass destruction. It was about a bunch of other stuff. Now, anyways, where we're at right now is, and I'm going to land my plane very soon, is that we as the United States, we are effectively and currently actively, we are looking to monopolize the energy, the oil. China is not necessarily an independent oil manufacturing company or industry or corporation, whatever you want to call it. Their nation is about 1 billion or more. They have a lot of people, okay? They probably, I would argue, next to Russia, their population is probably up in the top three most populated countries, continents, in all of America, in all of the world. The United States understands war is not just about military might. It's also about economic power. And I like to simplify it like this. If there was three drug dealers that were fighting over one block, the drug dealer that might win is the drug dealer who has the most money, who's the most productive. let's say one drug dealer has the most guns and another drug dealer didn't have as much guns, but he had the most money. That drug dealer can use that money to buy things that the man with the guns cannot buy. So essentially what happens is the man with the guns, if he doesn't make his guns worth the while, if he doesn't get his bang for the buck, if he's not able to make those guns really, really count, then the guy with the money's going to win. Because, yeah, you got more guns, but I got more money. I can buy guns. I can buy people that will betray you. I can buy off your people. I can sell out your own right-hand man. Name the price. I got the money. You don't. Money is power, and money is rooted in economic development. The better, more economic a nation is, the more threatening they are, no matter what. Even if the United States has more technological prowess, it doesn't matter if the other nation can outbuild and outpace business wise, because that's where the real power is. Influence. I may have more guns than you, but if you have more influence than me, then I am liable to lose the fight. Now, with that being said, the United States understands this principle. So they are trying to get the ex-Cuban president in their custody. Why? Because they want to get information, which comes from the very top. None other than the sitting president. If you can get an ex-president, we already got a Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro. We have him in our custody, meaning we got Venezuela weak point. We have their intel. We have their secret classified information because we have their president. Now, if we go and get an ex-president from Cuba, guess what? That means Cuba is liable to lose out their secrets. Because if we get one of your presidents, now we have access to the very dark secrets that only presidents are made privy to outside of intelligence agencies and those sorts of things. So why do we need Cuban intel? Why do we need Cuban presidents? I'll tell you why. Because we are effectively using Venezuela right now to corner the Cubans into capitulating, meaning we are using Venezuelans to cut off the Cubans from energy. The less energy they have, the more frustrated their people is going to get. Their population is going to effectively turn against the government. They're going to start blaming the government and they're going to attack the government. That's called insurgency. We are basically monopolizing insurgency around the world. Instead of us coming in and directly attacking you and putting our soldiers on their life on the line, we can just make your people attack your government. And now we don't even need to do anything but just watch y'all fight each other. So we're effectively cutting off Cuba from energy, and Cuba's going to capitulate. Now, why does that mean anything? Here's why. Because China doesn't want to fight us directly. China understands if they fight us, they're going to take casualties. They don't want that. They don't want, the president does not want to have a bunch of angry Chinese people coming to his door saying, I lost my cousin because of you. I lost my brother because of you. They don't want that. So what they're doing is they're trying to use business against us. They're trying to turn the world against us, and they want the world to do business with China. And if the world does business with China, America will tank. No matter how many guns, no matter how smart our weapons are, no matter how powerful our defense is, we're nothing if we can't sustain ourselves. We got to eat and drink in order to stay strong. And if you take our food and drink away, we're going to fall down. And America understands this principle. China understands this principle. So while the reason why we are taking the Cuban government right now under the guise of immigration fraud, the reason why we're doing it is because we want to cut off all of China's business partners. So Donald Trump enacted the Monroe Doctrine. The Monroe Doctrine essentially states that we, as the United States, for our own interests, for national security, we are allowed to check everybody in our neighborhood, meaning South America has to answer to us under the guise of national security. So that's why Nicolas Maduro got abducted overnight. That's why Cuba is literally getting ready to collapse because they can't get any oil exports. They can't sell oil. They can't buy oil. They've effectively been cut off of the market. Now they're literally starving and they're literally going without drink. They're literally famished. And the more and more they do not capitulate, the longer and longer they try to do business with China, the longer and longer they're going to suffer, and the more and more hostile their own population is going to become, effectively going to turn against the government. That's what the United States wants. We want their people to turn against the government. That's what we're waiting on. China knows this. So China's trying to figure out a way to stop us from doing what we're doing without going to war with us directly. I would argue that China's failing dramatically right now. Russia is bogged down by Ukraine. That is not a mistake. Russia had to attack Ukraine because the United States was making moves that was going to undermine Russian political influence. Russia knew it. Russia knew that there was no other way out of this. They had to make a move. So they did. Russia now is starting to deplete. They're losing ammo. They're losing money. They're losing life. They're draining themselves fighting Ukraine. Now, mind you, Ukraine is completely, I would argue, they're pretty much destroyed. But the United States is using mercenaries from all over the NATO countries to go in and pose as Ukrainian. If you see an Englishman fighting with the Ukrainian flag on his arm, you can't tell if he's Ukrainian or English, not until you shoot him dead. You don't know they all have blue eyes, blonde hair, brunette, brown eyes. You don't know if he's Ukrainian, if he's English, if he's Poland. The United States understands that, and they're using it effectively against Russia. Now, Russia and North Korea are fighting against that proxy because North Korea answers to China. China is using North Korea to basically do its dirty work because China knows if it steps in, the United States is going to have justification to declare war against China. And China doesn't want that. China wants to beat us through business. China wants to make us starve to death as opposed to beat us to the ground. That's what's going on. So Cuba is getting muscled right now. Venezuela is getting muscled right now. Brazil is starting to rethink its options because the longer Brazil sees China not making a move, now Brazil's got to think of its own national interest and say, "Hey, man, if you don't get these Americans off our backs, I'm just going to have to join the Americans." That's just essentially what's going on. Iran is being attacked for the very same reason why Venezuela was attacked, for the very same reason why Cuba is being attacked. It's because all of these places are Chinese business partners. China was using these people to undermine our dollar. That's why things have been expensive since 2000, and I would argue since 2016. Everything started to turn to shit. That's why Donald Trump started running for president in 2016, because he knew that if somebody doesn't get in office and put American interests first, I argue with, and I will tell you this, and I'm going to land my plane here. If we don't have somebody like Donald Trump or somebody like him, I promise you, we won't last another 4 years. We will go out the same way Cuba's going out right now. We will go out the same way Venezuela did back in 2013. It will not be pretty. It will be very gross and disgusting. You don't want that to happen. Even if you don't like the government, even if you got, let's say, a racial tension towards the opposite ethnicity, I promise you, for the sake of your children and the sake of your loved ones, you don't want our government to lose because it will be hell on earth. You think prison is bad? You ain't seen nothing yet. And with that, I land my plane.
Bet, I hear you. Let me get my ready because that's good talk. Cuba, Venezuela, oil, Iran, the Middle East. Um, Let me get my share down because when I want to talk about, it's kind of piggybacking of what you was talking about, but I found out some more information this morning as I was studying. Let me see if I can't find my screen. Window. Is that it? No, that's it. Ah, there you go. Get that off of there. Y'all don't want to see that, I'm sure. So,
And make sure you step into the mic just a little bit, brother. I'm struggling to
yep,
hear you.
yep, got you. I'm just setting this up. Am I showing good on the? Let me make sure I'm showing good on my screen. Whoa, whoa, who is that? What do we have here? Hmm. Let me read.
Very, very good, very good. I like that. I like that what you just brought up. That's very good.
Oh, watch it even gets better. Putin and Z held their friendships and growing energy trade. That's what we're talking about. Well, at their meeting
Hmm.
in Beijing.
Hmm.
In the current tense situation on international stage, our close cooperation, that's just them having their meeting. But let's read what he's talking about. I should just play this first. No, we can't. I don't think we can. Okay. Beijing, Associated Press, AP. And this source is AP News. You see it up there at the top. Chinese leader Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin held their strategic ties and growing energy trade as they met in Beijing Wednesday, only days after the visit by U.S. President Donald Trump to China. Putin and Xi oversaw the signing of more than 40 cooperation agreements in areas such as trade, technology, that's a big one, media exchanges. They stressed their growing trade, particularly in oil and natural gas, that's a big one I'm gonna get on, and declared themselves aligned on international relations. The country's ties had reached the highest level in history, Xi said, after the signing ceremony, speaking to members of the delegation and journalists. The two sides also agreed to extend the friendship treaty first signed in 2001. Hmm. Putin told those in the room that the driving force behind economic cooperation is Russian Chinese collaboration in the energy sector. Amid the crisis, Amid the crisis in the Middle East, Russia continues to maintain its roles as a reliable supplier of resources, while China remains a responsible consumer of these resources, Putin added in apparent reference to the U.S. war in Iran. Xi stressed the need for a complete cessation of hostilities in the Middle East, according to Chinese state media. So does that mean that Russia and China about to try to stop our war? Even though Russia got a war right there. All they doing is supplying weapons to Iran, just like America was supplying weapons to Ukraine. But that's on another level. That's where the big money talk come. And I don't think people ready for that. An early end to the conflict will help reduce disruptions to energy supply stability, the smooth flow of industrial and supply chains, and international trade order. In the evening, Xi and Putin had a conversation over tea in the Great Hall of the People, where the Chinese leader expressed confidence in continuing to strengthen the relationship between the two countries, according to the state media. Putin, after Putin later left for the airport and departed on his official plane. The growing trade relationship. China became Russia's top trading partner after Moscow's full scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Beijing said it is neutral in the conflict while maintaining trade ties with the Kremlin despite economic and financial sanctions by the US and Europe. Russia and China don't care. China is also a top consumer for Russian oil and gas supplies. And Moscow experts the war in Iran to increase the demand. There was no visible progress, however, on the prospective power of Siberia to natural gas pipeline that Russia has pushed to boost exports in China. A Russian presidential aide said earlier that Russian oil exports to China grew by 35% in the first quarter of the 2026 and that Russia is one of the biggest exporters of natural gas to China. China got a lot of people, they need a lot of gas. Bilateral trade between the two countries reached around 228 billion just last year, 2025, according to Xinhua News Agency. Xi said trade in the areas like energy served as stabilizing pillars of the relationship and pledged to accelerate cooperation in other areas like artificial intelligence and the digital economy and technological innovation. If Russia and China just say forget everybody else for a little bit and just do trade with them, they can do it. America would go crazy. But that's what I thought America should always do is close the borders. But we're gonna get Xi and Putin show a united front on international affairs. The trip comes just days after Trump's own visit in the sequence that is meant to cement China's image as an influential superpower, experts say. The message is clearly one that China maintains friendship and strategic partnership with whichever power it likes, and the U.S. is just one of them, said Steve Zhang, director of the SOAS China Institute at the University of London. Putin also described China and Russia's cooperation in foreign policy as one of the key stabilizing factors on the international stage. In the current tense situation on the international stage, our close cooperation is particularly in demand, which I feel like in the tense situation of the entire world, cooperation is in demand amongst communities, especially amongst the American community, which we are a part of, but we'll get to that later. Right now, we're talking about Russia and China, the people we have problems with. We drop bombs on Japan. If they bring Nagasaki and Hiroshima into this and China and Russia get Japan, then they go over there to, what's his name? The little Korean. And I guarantee if they start doing DNA tests, you can track them people all the way to them islands, all the way from through Russia and stuff. You'll see that they the same. That's why they doing that. Them Asians and people, it's about bloodlines. But then they'd have everybody we done did something against all together. All of them got nuclear weapons. Hmm. This is a nice build up for the coming years in our life, y'all. Remember, we heard it here first on Morning Coffee with O.L.E.E. A lot of predictions I've made in private just come to fruition. I forgot where I was. I was just trying to give y'all a main scale on how the power is moving and who we need to look at, how we need to protect ourselves. Our allies are all in the Middle East. Russia and China don't have to go through the Middle East to get to America. As I mentioned, Korea and Japan, if they all start cooperating with Russia and China. But China said up here that don't worry about none of that. Everybody just business partners. We mess with who we want to. We ain't supposed to try to do nothing to anybody. In February 2022, just weeks before Russia invasion of Ukraine, China and Russia announced a no limits partner. That's in America, we know no limit is who? Master P. And we know when he started his no limit, where he at right now. He rich. they starting a no limit partnership, you know, it's on the same grounds. It might not be the same thing, but they on the same grounds. Get it. Beijing says it's neutral in the conflict, though it in practices it supports Moscow through frequent state visits, growing trade, and joint military drills. That's real big. China has also ignored demands from the West to stop providing high-tech components for Russia's weapons industry. China has also ignored demands from the West to stop providing high-tech components for Russia's weapons industry. So when you look, I don't know if anybody be looking, I have. When you look at some of the social media sites and you see Russia and China having their military parades, showing their weapons, that ain't the things that they keep secret. They got secret weapons that we don't know about, but they show that. And China ignored demands to stop providing computer chips and stuff to Russia, even though we know Russia probably can make their own, but nothing like a friendship when you provide the software and I provide the hardware, and the hardware would be the machines that's involved. Anyway, that's just me thinking. Remember, this the morning coffee. My coffee running through me. Putin invited Z to visit Russia in 2027. Damn. He invited him from the future and said he would take part. How they know they still gonna be in power in 2027? Anyway, would take part in the U.S. Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in November in southern China. I wonder if they invited America. Both Putin and Xi continued to praise their close personal ties. Excuse me, guys. My dear friend, Putin said as he greeted Xi, we are truly delighted to see you. We keep in constant touch, both personally and through our aides in government. And I don't know if this how he talk, I'm just putting it in. Xi also addressed Putin as my longtime friend at the start of their talks and said it is important to build upon the foundations of mutual trust between the countries. The two leaders have pressed each other profusely in the past, with Xi at the point describing Putin as his best and most intimate friend. Putin and Xi both need to use their close ties in order to prop up their images at home, says William Lamb, a senior China fellow at the Jamestown Foundation. Putin needs to tell his countrymen in the world that Russia has China's support in terms of buying its oil and gas and other tangible and intangible financial support, Lamb said. Meanwhile, for Xi, having both Trump and Putin visit in such close succession is a major source of credit to the country's top communists. Now, why did I read that first? I hope I'm not taking long. We've been on an hour and 17 minutes. So what we're going to do right now is if you're in the crowd, we're going to give you a shout out. Thank you for being here. If you're just now joining, thank you for tuning in. We're just to get to our sponsors real quick. And then we're going to come back and talk about what technology. Oh, well, that's only if my man Shadow, he running the show today. But I think we need to talk about the technology part that's involved. You see how they said that China is providing material components to Russia. Now, those components are very big in the whole scheme of things, and people don't talk about that. So when we get back from this commercial break, we're going to go ahead and talk about the technology. I hope if Shadow don't mind, and I can show y'all what else I found about what's going on right there. And we'll return after these messages.
Clash of the Titans 1.0. The finals are here. It all comes down to this. Out of 16 debaters, only 2 remain standing. Some fell because they couldn't defend their arguments. Some crashed out because their antics outweighed their intellect. Others simply weren't built for the pressure of the arena. But now, the smoke is cleared. The finals face off. Pandemis, the African atheist versus Suave Boss. Before the final war of words, they meet face to face face to choose the topic that will define the championship debate. $500 on the line, one winner, one name etched in Clash of the Titans history. Who has the sharper mind? Who can survive the pressure? Who will rise when the lights are brightest? This is bigger than debate. This is legacy. And for everyone who lost along the way, your chance at redemption comes when Tournament 1.2 launches. But right now, this moment belongs to the finalists. Clash of the Titans 1.0, the face-off, Saturday, May 23rd, prime time. Be there to witness history. Are you not entertained? Attention all debate fans. You've been watching, you've been arguing, you've been picking sides. But now it's time to level up. From this point forward, all debates on this platform are going members only. That means the hottest clashes, the wildest arguments, and your favorite personalities going head to head will only be available to subscribers. You want real scholarship? You want the smoke? You want the unfiltered action? Then don't get left outside looking in. Sign up today for as low as $3.99 and get full access to every debate, every moment, every knockout argument. This is Titans Debate League, where legends are made and debates get real. Join now or miss out.
Good morning, world. The coffee is hot. The headlines are moving.
Stay tuned.
The questions are wide awake.
We're gonna have a couple more sponsors, and we'll get right back to you.
With Shadow and O.L.E.E. Only world logic. Only
Stay tuned in.
Wake up, tune in, let the day begin.
Listen up, Titan family. The Coliseum of Arguments is officially opening the vaults, and this is your chance to win a piece of league history. We're running a massive high-stakes t-shirt raffle, and these are not your average tees. We're talking ultra-exclusive, limited edition, premium custom apparel that you can't buy anywhere else. Once they're gone forever. We're keeping the stakes high and the odds completely in your favor. Here's how it goes down. Tickets are only $2. The limit, $40 or 20 tickets per person to keep the playing field fair. The odds, we're picking a brand new winner for every 20 tickets sold. Think about the math. If you max out your 20 tickets, you are essentially guaranteeing a crowd milestone and forcing a new drawing. The more tickets moving, the more winners we crown back to back. Are you a $3.99 channel member? Then we've already got your back. As a thank you for holding down the foundation, every single $3.99 member is automatically getting one free ticket entered into the raffle. But don't just rely on that one ticket. Secure your stack, maximize your odds, and ensure your name gets called. These custom designs, from the legendary Debate or Die print to the official Titans Debate League emblems, are strictly limited edition. You don't want to be sitting in the chat watching everyone else flaunt their exclusive gear while you missed out over a $2 ticket. How to enter? Open up your Cash App. Send your entry to $Titans Debate League. Put your name/handle in the note so we know exactly who to crown. The clock is ticking, the tickets are moving, and the next 20 ticket milestone is closing fast. Lock your entries in now and claim your crown. Winners picked this Friday. Are you not entertained?
Come join the ride. Morning
Attention all debate fans. You've been watching, you've been arguing, you've been picking sides. But now it's time to level up. From this point forward, all debates on this platform are going members only. That means the hottest clashes, the wildest arguments, and your favorite personalities going head to head will only be available to subscribers. You want real scholarship, you want the smoke, you want the unfiltered action, then don't get left outside looking in. Sign up today for as low as $3.99 and get full access to every debate, every moment, every knockout argument. This is Titans Debate League, where legends are made and debates get real. Join now or miss out.
All right, all right. We back from break. Shadow, you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. I'm
All
just getting
right.
everything ready for.
Hey,
Let me make sure.
I was definitely vibing with the information, brother.
Oh yeah, yeah. We still big. If I can go ahead and continue before you finish yours, because I know you're gonna want to talk.
Nah,
Um,
nah,
you,
brother. I would like you to continue yours. I kind of pretty much concluded mine. I would like to build off of yours because I
right,
feel like me and your presentation was kind of one and the same. It was just you basically contributed and added more detail to complete the build. So I kind of just want to keep going off of what you're doing because essentially that's what I'm doing. We're kind of doing the same on that aspect.
right, right. What you're saying is we drinking out the same pot of coffee.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's it. And remember to anybody that's in the chat. I mean, after this, after we do the morning coffee, we have the afternoon push and take notes for this. If you want to come up before we end this live and go to the next live, you can come up. Remember, we always like to know what's going on where you at. We also like to know about the weather, just in case anybody else around where you from listening and don't know. And we'd also like to hear your information and opinions on morning coffee. If you've had your coffee and you up thinking, because that's what we do here. Um, provide information, provide views, and try to have a nice morning coffee. We started kind of late this morning, but it's still
Most deaf.
almost the afternoon. Oh, it is afternoon here, and it's
Yes, sir.
early afternoon. There's 1 o'clock there, so we already in the afternoon push. Even though you see morning coffee, and we go. But I want to get back to what I was talking about when we was talking about Russia, China, Iran, Ukraine, gas and oil. I see them wars. Them wars already started. But it's a new war that's out there that y'all have to know about. And I don't know if y'all been looking. I don't know if anybody got stocks, anybody do any crypto work, anybody know about the crypto news and that the global technology power struggle that's happening right now is real. And it's happening between the United States, China, Russia, the BRICS nations, which BRICS is Britain, uh, oh, y'all know what BRICS is. I can't think of it right now because I'm thinking about other things, and I know I should be reporting the news, but y'all know what's going on right here. We're gonna get it better. Um, it's major tech companies involved. It's AI firms. You seen the people who went to China with Trump, billionaires and people who have AI firms and uh, chip manufacturers and the other digital currency systems. So the struggle that's happening is not just about oil, because the millionaires who getting the new money in technology, the Elon Musks and the program providers, um, the digital currency providers, all of that is fixing to get real big. And so let's get into what I'm calling, or what some people is calling, the new technological Cold War. And that's crazy because, excuse me, when I think about wars and Cold Wars, this one being technological, I imagine a nice long war going on until people understand that with the creation of AI, you have some people on different levels when it comes to what you call intelligence and the way you move. But then if somebody has access to that AI and they ask that AI the right questions, they can get just as smart as you in that moment. And people don't like that. But and this is what's going on with the microchips and the crypto and things, because the United States is trying to slow China's AI growth by restricting access to advanced AI chips and semiconductor technology. Now, this is technology that we've had trade with in previous years. We've always traded with them. But once China start making their own technology, those people that I told you that came over to China with Donald Trump,
Yeah.
the chip makers and the open AI people, Donald not Donald Trump, Elon Musk and stuff, they're start saying that China is taking America's chips, manufacturing them, selling them cheaper, and acting like they made the chips. And these chips are being sold back to American companies, back to that's being sold to Russian companies. They're being sold to um governments. And I found this right here. Let me. That's what I was looking for right there. Cause nobody likes some babbling without some information, right?
Most definitely, brother. Most definitely. I'm peeping game.
This is
Just
Yahoo
so
Finances.
Yahoo
Oh, my bad.
Finance, yeah.
Go ahead. Was you
Oh
about to
no,
say
no,
something?
I don't wanna intrude on what you I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
trying
I
to
got
like
you. I got you.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Trying to make sure we Trump tariffs live updates. Trump says China can't have Nvidia's top AI chip. Supreme Court case looms. And I just actually got some stock. My IBM was doing good. I took some of my IBM money and some of the stocks that was losing and put them in Nvidia because I see the what's moving now. President Trump said that the most advanced Nvidia NVDA chips will be reserved for U.S. companies and kept out of China and other countries. In comments to reporters aboard Air Force One, Trump said only U.S. customers will have access to high quality NVIDIA Blackwell chips, the most advanced. We will not let anyone have them other than the United States. Uh oh. Uh oh. The White House released a fact sheet this weekend with more details about the trade agreement ironed out between Trump and China's president Xi Jinping in South Korea last week. Oh, I didn't know that was in South Korea. So Trump didn't get to go to Beijing. Oh no, he wouldn't land there. He would land in South Korea. He got more protection there. Oh, okay, I got you. I got you, Trump.
Most def.
China will suspend additional export controls on rare earth metals and end investigations into U.S. chip companies, according to the release. Meanwhile, the U.S. will pause some of Trump's reciprocal tariffs on China for another year and will halt plans to slap a 100% tariff on Chinese exports to the U.S. that was set to take effect this month. The agreement struck between Trump and Xi came after months of chaos and confusion, putting on ice the trade war between the world's two largest economies. Here are some of other key details we know about that thaw. The U.S. tariffs on goods related to the production of fentanyl will drop from 20% to 10%, with the promise that China would work very hard to stop the flow. That means overall tariffs on Chinese goods will be cut to 47 from 57. Now, fentanyl coming from China.
Uh,
So we asked them to drop production because it's okay. I see you, Trump. They ain't cutting nothing but 10%. They still getting rich and still gonna be people eating it in America. So Trump said China would purchase more U.S. energy as part of a wider trade truce and hinted that the specific transaction involving Alaskan oil and gas. That's why China said earlier when we was looking at that we don't care about Russia and America's war. We deal with anybody. Y'all can't tell us we can't deal. That's about A1. Shout out A1. That's why I like A1 and Titans Debate League. Even though that's my house, he encourages me to go to other platforms to give my information. I just see a lot of them platforms is dirty with the people that's running them. Shout out that $50 cash app. I seen my man, shout out Omar. I seen you too last night with the $50 cash app to go up on stage and have 10 minutes. Absurd how they treated you. Oh, Morpheus, still running the one. He ain't the one, but he sure will make you think. He ain't even Morpheus. Morpheus more like what's that dude name? That ate the steak on the Matrix. What's his name that ate the Steak. Do you remember? On the
what was
first Matrix.
uh, specifically what you talk about? First Matrix.
On the Matrix when he was making the deal with the agents and he said, I know it's real. I know it's fake. But to taste it, and he went into this thing. What's his name? I can't think his name. We'll
Oh,
get
I know
into
what you're
that.
talking about, brother. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I
I
don't
got
know
his
it.
name right on the tip of my
I don't
tongue,
got
but
it
I'm
memorized exactly, but I know what you talk about. When they were when the dude they were eating at the table, and the dude was basically saying that everything's a simulation, and that like you're programmed to think that you're tasting something like
but
that.
ignorance is bliss. He was basically saying
Yeah,
ignorance is bliss because he wanted to be erased and put back into the matrix.
word
I
up,
can't think of
word
his
up.
name right now. Anyway, ignorance is bliss. The reciprocal country by but that's what I say about China. They say they don't got no problems with anything, you know. It's all good with them. The U.S.
Right.
Supreme Court is set to hear a challenge to Trump's most sweeping tariffs, the reciprocal country by country duties. A ruling against the tariffs, which would be in line with lower court decisions, could have significant ramifications for Trump's tariff strategy. Trump said he planned to skip the Supreme Court hearing this week over the legality of his global tariffs. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent hinted that the Supreme Court, which is due to meet on Wednesday to decide the legality of the President Trump's tariffs, will not be able to stop the duties, touting the alternative authorities the Trump administration can use. A spat over an ad featuring the late Ronald Reagan has grown into an international incident with Trump excuse me, threatening to raise tariffs on Canada by an additional 10%. The U.S. Senate passed several resolutions that would end several of Trump's country-specific tariffs in a rare rebuke of the president from several members of his own party. And that's his Jenny McCall talking about that same thing right there.
Hell,
But
oh, death.
that's some of the thing. I'll just talk about the chip war first. You got anything to say about the chip war between this and what's really
Yeah.
going on?
Let me just touch up just a little on that. Right.
Got you. Let me take my
Yeah.
screen down.
So
And y'all remember? Oh, my bad. Excuse me. I don't mean to interrupt me.
no,
Remember,
go ahead. Say what you're saying.
if you're out there in the chat, shout out to you. Shout out to the Titans Debate League and anybody. Please come up if you'd like to come up and give us some information and
Hmm.
give us a peace of mind on
Hmm.
this. We really like to wait till we get through sports. And if you just take
Hmm.
some notes and be ready to come up when we open up for the
Hmm.
afternoon push,
Yes,
shoot, we'll
sir.
be happy. Unshare my screen and let
Yes,
Shadow
sir.
talk. And it's on
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So with that being said, with the technology of today, know this, guys, it's all about looking at your past to figure out why everything that is presented has been passed, and what is being passed will be presented. That's how English gets down, and you can't really argue with it, because that's the actual truth, right? What is being passed to you is what's being presented to you. Think about it like that in English format. It's pretty nifty when you think of the English. What is being passed to you will be presented to you, and what is being presented to you, you will pass it down. You will pass it along. That's where you get your past, present, future tense of movement. It's a beautiful thing to look at it like that, because essentially that's what everything is going on, right? So, with that being said, as you look into the past historically, you find a timeline where America kind of started taking the initial lead, and they developed the blueprint of today's form of lifestyle. There's very few nations left that are not participating in what we would call the matrix. Today's matrix consists of European modeled culture, dealing in the way you dress, dealing in the way that you move about your daily. The thing is most nations, and I'm speaking about all 6 continents that are active with human interaction. These nations saw the dominance of Western America. They saw the power that America began to use through innovation and think tanks. America was the first nation to prove that man can fly. That was a big thing for the nations. That's when America cracked the code and made all nations pretty much, I don't want to say, yes, I can say it, adopt the Western European way of things. They didn't just adopt it, they abandoned, they replaced, they did away with their old way of things. So the nations around the world, they said, look, we would love to continue in our heritage, what was traditionally passed down to us from our forefathers, our elders, our mothers, our fathers, our overall inheritance. We have to give it up. Why? Because these Europeans are going to run circles around us. These Europeans are going to do way more than we could ever do. They will have it done within seconds for what will take us years to do.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I just want to tell you something real quick.
Yeah.
I've never looked at it like that. Why not go with somebody if their math, because that had to say, like you said, we was the first to take flight. That had to
Mm-hmm.
mean that our math was working and their math wasn't working. I never even thought about, or I say our math. I'll just say the people who created, because
Mm-hmm.
it is our math. But I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
that's what makes a lot of like, because I'm into real life stuff. As I got older, I kind of stopped. Now, mind you, if it's a fantasy, like let's say I'll make an example, Star Wars. If it's a fantasy, depending on the backstory, depending on overall everything that it takes to make the story, and let me make this very clear: the story has to be phenomenal, because you can have all the CGI, studio effects, you can have everything you need to make like anything happen on screen. If it isn't a decent, solid story, it all falls apart in my eyes in terms of me. Like CGI graphics just doesn't do it for me. So with that being said, when you get a good story, usually it ends up becoming a good story because it actually happened. That's what I find that real life stories are usually the best stories to tell. So I'll make an example, like the Japanese come up. The Japanese struggled giving up their old ways of lifestyle because they, just like most nations, they wanted to keep tradition intact out of honor of their elders. Like, look, man, our forefathers, this is what they did. Let's not dishonor them. Let's not disrespect them and go against what they laid out for us. They are the reason why we are here today. So it was like, you had the samurais. The samurais believed, look, man, there's a samurai code. If you got a problem with somebody else, you settle it out in the middle of the street. You pull your sword, he pulls his sword, and may the best man win. That was the old samurai code. But then the Spaniards started, setting sail. Next thing you know, there was this name. He goes by the name of Nobu Aganaba. That was his name. And he was one of the samurais that almost unified all of Japan. And the way he did it is he was ruling some parts of Japan. He had parts of the island of Japan, and some Spaniards lost course on the way to where they were going for their trade. They lost course and they washed up ashore on Japan. So Nobu Aganaba, he was like, you know what? I can kill these strange looking people. They look strange. But he was taken by the way they looked, their stature. He never seen a European before. He's never seen anybody that was remotely European. Come to find out, these Europeans had muskets. They had guns of which if you put a pellet inside it and then you stuff it with black gunpowder, you can make it go boom. And somebody can get, you can hit somebody from 10 feet, 20, 30 feet away. That blew Nobu Aganaga's mind because he was a military general and strategist to begin with. He was ruling parts of Japan because he wasn't just somebody who would go out there and fight you. He would think strategically so that he would win his battles. Well, once he found out what a musket can do, he basically made a deal with the Spaniards. He basically said, look, you give me some of these guns, you give me some of your technology, we'll give you food, shelter, provision, and we'll allow you to repair your boat and you can go on about your day. Spaniards said, well, shit, man. I mean, well, what other choice do we got? So he got some guns. Next thing you know, he's winning wars because he's doing something that his enemies never thought was possible. That was basically knock somebody down from 30, 40 yards away within a blink of an eye. By doing that, he basically set a set in motion. He basically set a phenomenon in motion, which overtook Japan's way of lifestyle. The Japanese were all about the samurai code. If I got a problem with you, you got a problem with me. Let's go out in the middle of the street. Let's duel to the death. May the best man win. Next thing you know, now they got guns, and it came to a point where the emperor had to make a decision. The emperor basically said, if we stick to our way of thinking, if we stick to the code that we have, people like those Spaniards, one day they're going to come over here and they're going to dominate us. And there's nothing we can do about it because their technology is just superior to ours. So they gave up their way of thinking. They gave up the sword and they took on the guns, not because they want to be Europeans. No, it's because they're surviving. They knew that if they allow the Europeans to continue in their technology and they remain in theirs, they're going to be dominated at one point in time. All nations inevitably came up to this conclusion that if they do not compete, they're going to be destroyed. You could just say if they don't compete, they will delete. They will be deleted if they don't compete. So all the nations, they started seeing the Americans can fly over your head like an eagle. They can go underneath the water with a submarine and take you that way. Everything that man thought was impossible, the Western Europeans were like, nah, it's possible. And by that, Now here comes Chinese. Here's the thing about the Chinese in today's modern technology. Taiwan, and I don't know who came up with this, brother O.L.E. I don't know who came up with this, but they decided to put the semiconductor chip manufacturing, they put it in the heart of Taiwan. 90% of semiconductors, which is basically a computer chip that every program machine needs. Your phone has one. My phone has one. Your laptop has one. My laptop has one. Every device dealing with Wi-Fi, interconnectivity, basically just telecommunications all together, you need a semiconductor. Now, the issue is Taiwan is not too far away from China's mainland. And Taiwan is responsible for 90%. I want brothers and sisters to understand the magnitude and scale of what I just said. It is critical. That I can't stress to you the amount of importance and significance that is being regarded here when we talk about Taiwan, not too far from China, is essentially responsible for 90% of our ability to create technologically. If China takes Taiwan over, we're screwed. And now they're trying to remove the base. So now they're trying to relocate the semiconductor chips, the manufacturing process. They're trying to bring it back to America. And China knows this. That's
Yeah.
one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why China is likely to attack within the next couple years. If they do not attack within the next couple years, China's, I'm going to just say it flat out. Strategically speaking, China is committing suicide if they do not take Taiwan within the next couple years.
But see, what I think is just like they said, it's a Cold War, and because China does have a grip on the materials that's needed to make those semiconductors. I didn't get to that yet,
Mhm.
but China has a leg lock um and a headlock. There's two of them. China
Leg lock,
they
head lock.
got a headlock and and a foot lock on the raw materials that's needed to make said superconductors.
Yeah, yeah. It's a very essential, brother, because they this is where their power is. They have the biggest population in terms of people altogether. There's so many of them, and not to mention they all work. And when you get a whole nation that has a population that pretty much dwarfs the United States, it goes down to this: if they can outwork us, if they can produce more than we can produce, the only thing that's gonna define who's winner and who's a loser is whoever keeps the innovative technological dominance. And the issue with China is they don't necessarily innovate, as in they don't come up with their own shit. What they do is they find out what we're doing and then they mimic it. They model it, they replicate, duplicate, copy. And the issue with that is if they find out what we're doing, they can go ahead and start doing it themselves, and they're going to win because they do it faster and they do more of it than we can because they have way more people. Does that make sense?
Definitely, it definitely makes sense, and that's what I'm saying. That's what we've been seeing for years when it comes to production of um, what I call trade, the production of trade products,
Mhm.
people's GDP and GD
Yeah,
uh,
you're right. Global domestic
domestic
product.
product and global.
Yeah.
But can't think of the other one right now. Those things are very important, and we don't even see that type of information because it seems to be peaceful. But this is when it starts getting close to economies, civilization's economy, the money movement, who's getting money, when they're getting money, who's trading this, when they're trading that. When can we get this? That's what I keep telling people. Like the
Yeah.
technology right now that we're discussing, AI, has moved on to what they call synthetic technology. There's different other things. We talking about AI, artificial intelligence. Then they got SI, synthetic intelligence, and these technologies, if we know about them, someone has used them to make sure that these technologies work. How long have they been using?
Say
How
what?
many? I said when you think about the technologies like AI
Uh
and
huh.
and SI, synthetic uh intelligence.
Intelligent. Yeah.
Right now, artificial intelligence seems big, and it seems new to people, especially commercially, right? Can you hear
Hmm.
me still?
Yeah, I
Okay,
can hear you. Hmm.
but people don't understand that these technologies are created in think tanks and at colleges and actual universities, and
Yes.
they use these technologies and keep on checking and making them better and make until they get a viable product. By the time they get a viable product, they'll use it for who knows 10 to 20 years before we even started. And so you start hearing people talking and I don't know, let's just give a hypothetical. Remember guys, these are hypotheticals.
Hmm.
So we got science departments, philosophy departments, mathematical departments in all of these universities. Let's just go to Yale or Stanford. We'll go to Stanford. And I don't know if Stanford has or not. I'm sure they have some type of AI technology that they created. But let's just say their AI ended up being on the market as open AI. And so we know open AI is Chat GPT. So I want to ask you, do you think those people at that college was using that technology before they gave it to people?
Yes, absolutely. I believe, and I'm speaking for anything that ever comes out, especially when it goes viral and it becomes number one marketable. Any like the computer, telecommunications, the phone, any of these things, the military and secret intelligence, so to speak. And I'm speaking in terms of all nations, not
And
just
then,
America.
right, and then the highest people in society. When I say the highest, I'm talking about the ones who are
Yes,
asking for the technology to be created, who are funding the technology to
yes,
be created.
absolutely,
So
one
I
hundred
think about
percent.
so I think about a woman who ain't too smart that marry a rich man, and they say, you know, our kids ain't gonna be too smart because I wasn't that smart, and they agree. They said we got to find a way to keep our kid able to move through without any problems.
Uh
So
huh.
if we know that kids are getting smart, and we know the Chinese kids got a certain kind of math that they doing and stuff, or they
Yeah.
uh we gonna let our kid use this AI through go to school. So we don't even know how long they been kids been using it. And don't tell anybody you got this, okay?
Yes.
This is for your future.
The rich
You
get
know
it
what I'm saying?
first.
And yeah, when you got so and then you got what seemed like a leap in intelligence within collegiate communities when they start debating and stuff, and people was
Yes.
debating and they was having type of stuff, so they seem super smart. People start writing books about different things, and you see them like, damn, where they
Yes.
come up with this? You see the textbooks updating stuff. All this shit is AI, and they put it out as personal intellectual property.
Yep.
Now they're coming up with ways to stop people, even though they created it for this. They
Yes.
saw that, damn, it's smart people out there who we knew were smart, but we could keep them away from intellectual discussions and things where people get
Yes.
in. Now you got AI and you can correct with people and you can say, you know what, I was thinking this. Let me look this up to see if this actually worked. And you put
Yep.
it in there and it gives you, and people who went to school and college for years, and then someone who's just mediocre in something can get in
Yep.
a discussion and talk to you, and you can talk and you can mention things and they can look it up right there.
Right there,
which they're
right on the
supposed to.
spot,
Now,
bro.
people don't like that for some reason.
Oh, I mean, think about it.
I
I mean, it's like I told you, influence is power. So if you can be stronger than me. Let's say you're stronger than me. You're athletically more skilled and capable than I am. That don't mean nothing if I have the knowledge, if I have the wisdom and
r-
the intelligence, if I have the resource.
right. Now, you don't think Donald Trump was using AI when he was becoming president? You're a damn fool. I mean,
No,
you're
I
not.
get what you're saying, bro. I get what you're saying.
You
And
don't
yes,
think that them teachers and stuff wasn't using that AI before them students could use it? Use it.
right.
If you
And
don't
they
think
and
that all the property and books and stuff that was written for some time with those people and stuff, and you seeing Professor
100%,
Doopty Boo Boo write your
100%.
book, Professor Booty Boo Boo, oh his book, oh no, he wrote that book. No, he did the same thing that people are doing
Right.
now. And I'm not saying the AI is writing their books, but they're putting their ideas, and AI is putting it in a viable form where other people can understand it. People don't like that. And they
No,
sit
no,
there and
well,
do the
dude, they're
same
not, I
thing.
mean, nobody likes to be dominated. Nobody likes,
Well, it's
nobody
not
likes,
domination. No. People don't like to not be able to dominate. It's the
of
other way around.
course.
They want to be able to. I seen a woman. I was watching the show last night. She came on and she was like, "Why do you read your information when you be giving your presentations and things?" And I had to tell her like I wrote the information so I could read it. I know it, but I just think when my teacher was teaching me, my teacher was never freestyling. I learned good with
Right, right,
people reading to me as well as reading along with it.
right.
And then I seen her on there. She looking at her computer screen and she talking, but she's trying to basically just skim the information and make it
Yep,
like it's her reading it. We know this is AI, but there's nothing wrong with that, man. There's nothing wrong with that, anybody. They created this for us to use it. This is the same as the calculators they created in the past. This is the same as typewriter. This is the same as finding a way that the entire community can have a way to be informative
of
instead of
course.
sending your kid to school with that teacher that don't like him or the people his
Right,
kind. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
right.
we're gonna talk on that more, but I just
Yeah.
wanted to say like the AI thing that and the way it's going, people always got to remember that it's gonna be humans
It ain't gonna
propping it.
stop. It ain't gonna stop, brother, until like, and I want to say God, even though I'm not speaking the way that people are gonna. If I say God, somebody's gonna be like, "Oh man, he's talking about some guy in the sky."
Man, just
No,
tell the truth of what it is. Just say until time,
right.
because it's gonna
Thank
take
you.
time. Just go ahead and
Thank
say
you.
it. And
That's
just
pretty
you
much
know,
it right there.
yeah.
Pretty much what you. It's time. Whether someone wants to call it God, someone wants to call it truth, someone wants to call it time,
Yeah, call it
someone
what
wants
it
to call it
is.
nature. I say something. I'm just gonna say a higher power beyond ourselves, and even though it's coming from ourselves, whatever that is, whatever that might be, even if I was to say that it is going to be ourselves, we are going to be the reason why we're going to hit a point where we can't go no further because we went too far. We went too
Yeah,
far. We're going to get to a point where we can't control it. And when I say that AI is going to be the death of us, people think about the movie Terminator, where the robots turn against us. That's not what I'm saying, and that's not the case. The case is once we get to a situation where we have so much power to make decisions that would take you or I, it would take us years to come up with, and they can come up with it in seconds to minutes. If you take that type of power and you put it all together, all it takes is for one miscalculation and it will cause a mistake of which is irredeemable. Um, I don't know how to explain it. Like if we make a mistake and we could say, "Oh, we made a mistake," and then we can all group together and say, "Let's huddle together, let's sleep on it, let's wake up, let's have our coffee, and let's look at it again, and let's rinse, repeat until we figure it out." Once we get to a point where we make a mistake that we can go to bed on, wake up, and look at it again because it was so dramatic, that's the issue that we're getting to is we're gonna, it's almost like nuclear exchange. Everybody knows, man, if you drop a nuke, that's not, you can't just come back off of that shit tomorrow. That's
And not
bad.
not
That's
just
real bad damage.
not just tomorrow. It's an ongoing event.
Yeah.
Somebody has already had nukes dropped on them.
Yep.
True. It could be like over with, but we know it's not because nukes are still being made.
Yes,
People are
sir.
still making defenses. People are, and that's why I'm so elated about my view, quantum onlyism, and the things that I um set forth and the proposals and things that I set forth because um one of the things we're gonna have to get rid of first and foremost is the warring of because of things that no one has viable evidence for. We have we have events and things that people say happen. Some events happen. People say they happen because of this. People say they happen because of that. We know in the end that it's the choices of men that makes intention possible. The only
Hmm.
intentions we see is in life that has to vie for itself to survive. And so to give that power to something that would be outside of the comfort zone, strictly for its comfort, it's outside time and nature, but for some reason we have to, I just can't agree with that. And that right there is one problem because you gonna believe something, I'm gonna believe something. But we gonna go over here and we gonna find something out, right? And we find
Hmm.
it out together. And now let's just say you're a Christian, and I'm not, I know you're a Christian, not strict, but I'm talking about the regular Christian.
Yeah.
You've been a regular Christian, I've been a regular Muslim. Now, when we started this venture, we always used to argue about Christianity and God and Islam and Allah, right? And we never came to an agreement about that. But in the end, we get this thing and we say, okay, we got this technology, it works. You say, praise God. He say, hum to Allah. Does that mean that Allah and God, the Christian God, is now the same? Or are they going to start fighting about who provided that information? It was God that did that. Like, like we'll never get anywhere with supernatural beliefs. We have
Hmm.
to recognize that we have a nature and we have time to change, to do things, to update, to downgrade, to
Hmm.
digress, to become great. Like we have all of these options and we have to do it. We can't wait for no something in the sky to say, okay, guys, do it. We
Hmm.
all have to look out there and say, yep, we do need that. Yeah, we do need that. Yeah, man, we do need that. We need, like, we know what it's going to take, but it's going to
Hmm.
be this, it's going to be the outdated technology of religion, because religion is a technology. Religion is a science. Religion is a philosophy. Religion is the first government. Religion and the practice and belief of religion is was what made civilization be able to calm down and have times of peace.
Yep.
And then once the times of peace came and people come and go and other people come up and they say, oh, well, why are those people benefiting off of it? That ain't the way. And they'll break off and they'll go create their own
Hmm.
religion and political system, and it'll go just
Yep.
like you said. And then somebody will come and they'll war with these people. And these people will say, oh, no, our God, the one that cursed us. That's the only reason you won, because we wasn't doing right. Well, then,
Yep.
why should you want to go back to that? If somebody's math is better than mine, they created guns and they came and took off with flying, and then I practiced that, but then I said, no, I got to go back and we did that. We created this. Did all that. All of that arguing is for nothing.
Hmm. And that's
Humans
kind of that.
created it.
That's kind of what got us to where we're at, right? Because
It's gonna keep us where we at.
absolutely, because we looked at the rise of empires historically speaking. these empires, in terms of one empire falling to the next, one thing we learned, for every empire had one weakness, and they all, not one empire deviated, meaning every empire is different, as different as it was, even they were in completely different time zones and timelines. They all shared one thing, as if it's like their brothers teaching each other the same thing their daddy taught them. And that was even though we're a powerful empire and we're empirical because no nation can contest against us and we're kind of dominating everybody, there's just one issue that they all have, and that is they get so comfortable in their dominance that they end up turning against themselves. They start to fracture from within. Every time an empire establishes dominance, whether you want to say it's globally or within their region, they always make that one mistake where you got too many chiefs trying to, or you know what they say, too many chiefs, not enough Indians. You got everybody trying to be top dog, and the ego ends up getting the best of them because every time an empire falls, it always falls with first as intelligence gets leaked out. I'll make an example for America. America has Americans in the White House, in Washington, even so much as hanging out with Donald Trump as we speak. One or two of them are going to go sell that information or give that information to the enemy, Chinese, Iran, you name it. And somebody's going to ask, why are they doing that? Aren't they American? Shouldn't they be patriot? Shouldn't American interests come first? Yes, that's what it's supposed to be. But every nation has done it. Genghis Khan, he suffered from it. Alexandria of Greece, he suffered from it. Caesar of Rome. Does anybody know how Caesar went out in Rome? The man got killed by his own senators. What happens is once you're in dominance, now you got to check what's going on within, because now you got the ego, the human ego, and it always ends up being that's why it's written in the book. It says that every prophet is not accepted by their own household. Your enemies are at your table. I think that's one of my favorite verses in the Bible. It's one of my most beloved verses in the Bible because nothing impacts me, nothing gives me goosebumps and hits me harder than that statement. When you're over here worried about the enemy on the outside, you're worried about Leroy. Leroy said if he ever catches you lacking, he's going to take you out. But you got your brother, you got the people you think love you. You got to watch out for them. And it's harder to watch out for them because they're the ones who got you convinced they love you. You think they love you, but do they? Do they really love you? And why am I bringing this up? Because in today's time, even right now, as powerful as America is, somebody's snitching to the Chinese. Somebody's saying, yeah, man, Donald Trump said he was going to do this. And they're risking their life, giving out our information that can take us out. Why? Because once a nation gets powerful and they start dominating, everybody and their mom is going to want to take you out. That's just the name of the game. If you become champion, guess what? Now you got challengers. They want to be champion, and they can't be champion while you're champion. It doesn't work that way. In order for them to become champion, you got to stop being champion. In order for them to be king, you got to stop being king. And with that nature, you will always have it. And this is where every empire fails. Every empire collapses because of their enemies that are within. That's first. There is no history that anybody can go look up right now. You can go to Egypt. You can go to every empire. No empire fell from an external factor, not without the internal factor first. It started with one of your brothers snitched on you. That's how it starts. And it's because, just like you said, time is going to be the ultimate factor, because we as humans, We don't want people to be smarter than us. We don't want people to be able to dominate us. So we withhold information, or we withhold secrets or intelligence from others so that we can keep being king. And that always falls on it always returns back to bite us. Because with everybody having the information, you know what I'm thinking right now, brother? Drones. I don't know if anybody understands the madness behind that technology, but there are people right now that it's like a video game. People got to understand how dangerous this is, because you got, with the technology we have now, a 9-year-old can take out an entire army. Do you understand what I just said? That's serious. A 9-year-old little boy can sit in his room and literally take you and everybody you love out like it's a video game. He in his mind, in his room, he's just playing a video game. But in reality, you're running for your life. This kid is chasing you down with a little killer robot that's trying to kill you. And that kid, he's just eating a Butterfinger. He's laughing at, he's probably watching a video. He's probably watching a cartoon while he's killing you. Like, you guys got to understand, the level of technology we have is, we're at that point. We're just maybe a couple blinks of an eye. We're a couple blinks of an eye away from total mass destruction. And I mean that on a mass scale. Because it was one thing when you want to take someone out, you had to get a knife. You had to, like, even if you got the drop on him, let's say he didn't see it coming, and you get the first 2 stabs off before he realizes that you're trying to kill him. Now you got to struggle with him. Now you got to keep stabbing him until he stops fighting back. You got to, it's intimate. You got to, like, struggle with him. You got to make sure he doesn't, overpower you, take your knife away. That's one thing. Then it turned into, well, I got a gun. I could just pull the trigger. I could take you out at 10 feet away, maybe 20 feet. But what happens if you miss? Now you're in trouble. How many bullets do you have? How far away is he? How good is your aim? Now we're in a situation where I can give a remote control to a child and say, take this video game, and I want you to take out these targets. So all I ask that 9-year-old, 10-year-old boy to do is play a video game and beat the boss. I want you to beat the boss. Beating the boss means taking out these 3 buildings and everybody in it. People don't understand where we're at right now. It's dangerous. You can get drones, a legion of drones. You can get 1,000, 10,000, 20. Do you know they have the technology it's called hive mind. What does that mean? It's basically mimicking bees, killer bees. A queen bee, if you kill one bee, you're fighting the entire colony of bees. Let's say there's 1 million bees in one hive. If you swat one bee down, you are literally fighting mathematically all the bees that are in that hive. Now, flip that and turn that into drones. Imagine what it's like you're being chased by over 10,000 drones. Do you know where we're at right now? I don't think there's no coming back from it. We're done. We're cooked. The only thing that's going to stop this is divine intervention, meaning a miracle, something that's beyond the human itself. Definitively speaking, God. We need, and if we don't have a real God, we're cooked.
Yeah,
That's my take on that.
I feel you, and we're gonna go ahead and end it. I'm just gonna say, we've been waiting on God for a long time, man, and that just don't seem to be working. We better get up and do something, which that something better become accountable and responsible. Because all the text and anything that we ever read, that God, anything he didn't matter unless it was a human involved.
Yep.
He couldn't do nothing unless it was a human involved. All of the words that we got are because a human has either created this idea, found a way to get other people to believe it, and then we sit and we wait. But we know that in the Bible, you see, when you get in any of them, when you get down to the bare um realistic realism of what it's saying, it tells you like, yeah, it's a devil tempting you, but you the one making that choice. Like,
Absolutely, I agree, brother.
but you gotta believe you. We can't. And I'm gonna say it again because I don't. And I'm if anybody disagree with me, we are allowed to agree and disagree, just like me and Shadow disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with Shadow because what he sees is what he see. What I see is that we better stand up, be accountable and responsible. You can find something to have reverence to. You can pray to your God all you want. I'm telling you, you still gonna have to do something to see the results that he can give you. So, regardless of what our beliefs are, what our knowledge is, what we know, one thing that we all know is what? If we're thinking we exist, we all exist in a form. We all want to exist comfortably. Some of us has the mind that we have to exist more comfortable than anyone else. And that's how it's been through time.
Mm-hmm.
But we have
Fact.
to update because we see that didn't work. Even though those beliefs and things get so far, they start stopping. We see that Christianity and that type of belief came all the way from the Middle East all the way to America, changed all the way from many gods and Abram to following one God through Abraham and his descendants and stuff, all the way to Jesus, Moses, to Noah, Moses, back down to Jesus, and then with Jesus and on Jesus's coattail, they rode it all the way over here to America. And when we got to America, they pushed it for so long. They took books out, made a slave Bible,
Yes.
and told people that it was like we know all of the atrocities that was caused from it, and we know that we
Yes.
could be just where we at without those beliefs. If anybody would understand that when the first person who started this looked up and said, "I exist," what is it that makes me exist? This had to be the first question within existence. Why do I exist? So the God that people came up with is somebody's idea of why they exist. Why is
Yes.
it a God and why is it personified? Because that was the technology of explaining things. It's a man. When you see
100.
Egypt and Kemet, they was talking about Ra and the sun and stuff, but the people in Kemet understand that no, they was talking about forces. They call them the Netter and stuff like that. But they understood that it was talking about natural things, the personifications and the way that they was ways to tell the stories so they can spread. Then we started being able to take down actual information about these things. We start being able to make tools to look for these things. And they kept the question going. The question's still going. And what is God? Who is God real and stuff? I came up with an idea that while God should be what sustains existence and the reason for existence, we can have that. And we don't have to have any intention in saying that he created us for us to follow him, worship him, go to heaven or hell. Because I know that existence and time and nature and me being having a nature and being able to observe time, knowing that I wouldn't be here if I didn't have time or I didn't have a nature, knowing that any idea I can form needs time to form, knowing that after I form those ideas are inside time and nature. So when I form the idea of a God, even though I say he was before time, I'm saying before, so I'm still giving it an order. You can't get past that logically. So when you see these things, we understand that, oh, maybe that target was wrong. They was right to look for something. They looked for the wrong target. The reason I know this is because that target is in many different forms. One God, El, Yahweh, Shiva, Vishnu, Krishna, Brahma, and uh Allah,
Etc.
the one that like it's so many different ones that's all say the same thing. So who
Mm-hmm.
are we ever gonna say right? Well, no one's ever gonna be right on that because everybody got the wrong target. Everyone has the wrong target of what they're looking for. That question is outdated. It's done. If you keep it, people
100%,
going
brother.
people gonna always have a way to put it over. But we coming up on the hour, man, and we about to have to start closing this because I got to go do some other
Mm-hmm.
things. Um, so y'all know the topic. We're gonna be back on, though. I'm gonna make sure I come back on for an open panel called the push. and the pushback, so everybody can come back if you remember what we talked about. You watch this while we gone. When you see us back on, come back and
What
push
what
back.
time? What time you pushing back, brother?
Uh, I should be back here by 2:30. I'm gonna say 3 o'clock my
Okay.
time. So that's like 2 hours. Um, so three. That'll be four there. That'll be give everybody time to go get something to eat if they watching and listening. Thank everybody in the chat for joining us today. Shadow, you can go ahead and close it out because you was the head anchor today.
Yeah.
Shout out to Titans Debate League. Shout out A1, the Titan boss himself. Shout out Titan Debate League presents, and shout out to the Morning Coffee Show. Shout out you, Shadow, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody that watched. Please join us later.
I
Shadow,
don't.
you can close us out.
I don't have moderation. Otherwise, I would probably extend it a little longer on my behalf, but not for just to basically give it.
I can leave you on. I can
Yeah,
leave you
but I
on,
don't
and
have
you can
moderation. So
continue. Right,
if someone
right,
come on there, and you know what I'm
right,
saying, and he decides to troll me, there ain't really nothing I could do.
right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Um.
All right. So yeah,
But
y'all, we're gonna get into these commercials, our last song, and we're gonna go
and that's
ahead and
that.
end that. Thank y'all for joining me for my morning coffee.
Most deaf.
Sun coming up, fresh cup in my hand. News on the table, let's understand.
Listen up, Titan family. The Coliseum of Arguments is officially opening the vaults, and this is your chance to win a piece of league history. We're running a massive high-stakes t-shirt raffle, and these are not your average tees. We're talking ultra-exclusive, limited edition, premium custom apparel that you can't buy anywhere else. Once they're gone forever. We're keeping the stakes high and the odds completely in your favor. Here's how it goes down. Tickets are only $2. The limit, $40 or 20 tickets per person to keep the playing field fair. The odds, we're picking a brand new winner for every 20 tickets sold. Think about the math. If you max out your 20 tickets, you are essentially guaranteeing a crowd milestone and forcing a new drawing. The more tickets moving, the more winners we crown back to back. Are you a $3.99 channel member? Then we've already got your back. As a thank you for holding down the foundation, every single $3.99 member is automatically getting one free ticket entered into the raffle. But don't just rely on that one ticket. Secure your stack, maximize your odds, and ensure your name gets called. These custom designs, from the legendary Debate or Die print to the official Titans Debate League emblems, are strictly limited edition. You don't want to be sitting in the chat watching everyone else flaunt their exclusive gear while you missed out over a $2 ticket. How to enter? Open up your Cash App. Send your entry to $Titans Debate League. Put your name/handle in the notes so we know exactly who to crown. The clock is ticking, the tickets are moving, and the next 20 ticket milestone is closing fast. Lock your entries in now and claim your crown. Winners picked this Friday. Are you not entertained? What happens when a Christian preacher's son starts asking questions nobody wants answered? What if faith and science were never supposed to be enemies? This isn't another religious book, and it's not another angry attack on belief. This is a wake-up call. The Agnostic Guide to Faith, Science, and Sanity by A.1. Richardson takes you on a mind-bending journey through scripture, psychology, science, energy, cause and effect, vibration, polarity, rhythm, and the universal laws shaping your everyday life. Why do people sabotage themselves and blame God? Why do we ignore patterns then act shocked by consequences? Why are so many trapped doing what we call crazy work? This book challenges everything you thought you knew about spirituality, reality, and yourself. No fake certainty, no church cliches, no blind obedience. just raw honesty, deep reflection, and practical wisdom for people caught between the pulpit, the laboratory, and real life. Whether you're deconstructing your faith, spiritually curious, tired of shallow answers, or searching for sanity in a chaotic world, this book was written for you. Read it with an open mind, read it with courage, read it before life forces you to learn the hard way. The Agnostic Guide to Faith, Science, and Sanity. Stop doing crazy work and wake up to the patterns shaping your life now.
Take the morning with Shadow and O.L.E.E. Morning light still shining through. Another day unfolding new. Take the rhythm of the morning as you go through the fast lanes and the highs and lows. Lot of noise in the world outside, but keep your balance while the tides all rise. Coffee cups and conversations fade, but the thoughts we shared are meant to stay. Every headline got another side, so move with wisdom as the hours fly. Take your peace where you can find it. Don't let the chaos come define it. Breathe deep, stay grounded. Keep your eyes open wide. Morning coffee with Shadow and O.L.E.E. Starting the day with clarity. Stay thoughtful, stay kind. Keep that fire inside your mind. Morning coffee with Shadow and O.L.E.E. We'll meet again with the sunrise seen till tomorrow. Move wisely and let the day unfold softly. From Oklahoma roads to city lights, everybody searching for a clearer sight. Different voices, different ways, still trying to make sense of these modern days. Some people rush, some people slow, some people still got healing to grow. But every morning brings a chance to think a little deeper while we still can. No fear, no panic, no drowning in the noise. Just one more morning, one more choice. Morning coffee with Shadow and O.L.E.E. Take a little calm with your reality. Stay grounded, stay true. Let the day make room for you. Morning coffee with Shadow and O.L.E.E. We'll see you when the dawn breaks free. Till tomorrow, stay bright and keep your coffee warm tonight. Morning coffee, Shadow and O.L.E.E. See you in the morning. Good morning, world. The coffee is hot.
Let's pause the noise for a second, because if you're still here right now, you're already different. Not everyone gets this. Not everyone understands real debate, real scholarship, real intellectual smoke. But you do. This is Coliseum of Arguments. This is Titans Debate League. And what happens here doesn't survive on algorithms. It survives on the people who believe in it. When you support through Cash App, you're not just donating. You're fueling the arena. You're the reason we can bring in high-level guests. You're the reason we keep unbiased judges. You're the reason these debates stay sharp, fair, and uncompromised. This platform is built by thinkers, sustained by supporters, protected by the ones who know value when they see it.
But keep your balance while the tides all rise.